Howdy, howdy. This is Utah Redneck Nichols. We're back with the family campfire. Tonight is an amazing night. We have with us Delaware Digger, the one and the only. Um, he has amazing videos out on YouTube. He has all kinds of things that he does, from bottle dump digging to metal detecting to hanging out with family. It's an all around great channel. So check out his channel, and we'll be interviewing him and his son Smiley tonight. And as a special guest, I'm honored to have Josh Kimmel from Beyond Sight and Sound on as a guest panelist. Um, He's going to be interviewing Delaware Digger along with Tar Heel Digging. Matt from Tar Heels, always an honor to have you on here again. I'm not going to take up any time beyond what I have to. I am going to turn over to Josh first to give some information about his show and his websites and all, and then I'll and do a shout out or two, and then if he'll hand it over to Matt afterwards to start the questions, we'll get right on rolling.
All right. Well, I guess first off, thanks for the opportunity, Utah. It's great to set in and just help be a part of such a great show, and to be on here with people that do such great videos and so much good with the hobby, just chasing the history like they do and preserving that. As you said, I do Beyond Sight and Sound. It's on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live on 1,000 Mics. Usually a few days later, there is a YouTube archive shows up on my YouTube channel of Ohio Metal Detecting, and they can follow us on YouTube. They can follow us on 1,000 Mics. They can follow us on the Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound Facebook group. They can find me on Facebook as Josh Kimmel, or they can drop in and check out the Beyond Sight and Sound domain at beyondsightandsound.com. Also, the show runs with my co-host, Dirt Bandit 33, Kenny Moore. Big shout out to him. It really adds some nice dimension to the show. Unfortunately, he has not been able to participate as much as he would like lately. They've had a lot of family issues going on, a lot of health issues, and it's pretty serious. So our thoughts and support definitely go out to him. You know, if everyone could keep them in their thoughts, that would be great. Last night we mentioned on the show that your chat would be tonight. We had Sam Waters on, and I'm telling you what a powerhouse guest. That woman has so much passion and energy for the hobby. It's just awesome to see that sort of thing. And she's such a great person, too, doing this stuff. Other than that, on to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Josh. I appreciate that, and a big shout out to Kenny Moore out there. I hope things work out for him. We know he's got to deal with some life issues right now. Everybody does from time to time, but want to definitely send him our best wishes. So on with us tonight, we've got Delaware Digger, the one and only Delaware Digger, and I'm really pleased to talk with you tonight, Terry. I mean, you and I have been chatting back and forth for the last couple of years, man, but it seems like we've never really hooked up yet, so tonight's the night, man. I'm grateful to be here and chatting with you.
Hey, man. Thumbs up, brother. Glad to be here as well.
I see you got Smile with you tonight. You got your boy with you tonight. That's huge, man. That's huge. I just watched your video today. You guys went out digging in the woods, found some great bottles. It was an awesome video, man.
Hey, thanks a lot. We had a great day, man. It's always nice to get out with Smile.
It was pretty hot out there. I have to say that.
Well, you got your workout in for the day, Smile. You got your workout in. Hey, Terry, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the detectors you use. Man, it seems like you got a different machine with you every day these days. Tell me a little bit about your arsenal and what's your go-to machine?
I'd say the go-to machine for me would be the AT Pro.
Yeah, man.
you know, second to that, I mean, that's my favorite. That's the first detector. I would say the first professional detector that I ever bought myself. But second to that would be the CTX 3030. I kind of got a love affair going with the XP Deus right now, but we're working that out.
All right, cool. You got to keep them in separate rooms. Is that what it is?
Got to keep them separated. That's right. That's right.
It's cool to see that you're trying a lot of different equipment and seeing what's a good fit for you. And I know a lot of that depends on the area that you're hunting. I see a lot of your videos sometimes down in Virginia digging with Chris Johnson and down in that area. That's got to be some special ground you're hunting down there.
Boy, that's hallowed ground, like Dirt Bandit 33 would say. That's hallowed ground. And let me just stop you for 1 second. Just give a shout out to Dirt Bandit and just tell you know, hey, listen, our prayers from Delaware are headed your way, brother. And keep your chin up, and you know, Godspeed with the health issues, that he may touch those issues and bring that to fruition. But yeah, hunting with Chris is a great time. We go down every December, Smile and I. Well, he joined me this last December. I went down a previous December by myself, but we're looking to get back down there and just bring some more history. And I'm looking for that bit boss or that belt plate.
I know you guys dug a ton of bullets when you were down there last summer, or last winter actually it was. What do you guys do with those bullets? You got them on display somewhere, or what do you do with your finds?
Oh yeah, definitely. I keep them. I got them in this display case. Let me grab them.
All right, cool. I'd be interested in looking at them.
You can say he's a hoarder by how much he
He's a bullet hoarder.
Taking on up there, let him see it.
Oh, nice.
He's all down there. There's basically a lot of finds we find. Bullets.
This is season 2 right here, and this is season 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great, guys. I see a lot of sharps, ringtails, and a lot of different bullets in there. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah. I found I guess one of the ones that I found was a Maynard, and that was special. Of course, I didn't know what it was.
That's a rare bullet.
I threw some photos up on Facebook, and LA Gold came through and said, "Woo, that's a sweet Maynard there, buddy." And I was like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. Thank you."
That's awesome when you can get out with good friends like that on a wonderful day in the middle of winter and find some incredible history like that. So hats off to you guys for taking the time to do that.
Right on.
I want to talk a little bit about some of your local finds that you've made up there. I know you've hunted this old church site, this Union Church, for a number of years and dug some pretty incredible things up there. Tell me about that spot.
I'll tell you, this spot, I did some research. I stumbled upon the spot by accident, really. I had been driving past this corner a lot with this really large oak tree for years, and I always said, man, that's a beautiful tree. That's a beautiful area. I didn't know much about it, and it was just after I got the AT Pro that I started learning the key to success and getting permissions to actually go and knock on the door and ask people. So I stopped in, and I would always drive by, and no one was ever on the property. And I said, man, maybe no one lives there. So I seen this old woman out next door, and I pulled up, and I said, hey, you know, my name's Terry. I like metal detecting, and do you know anything about the property next door? And she was like, yeah, I grew up there. And I was like, wow. I said, would you mind if I take a look? And she said, well, you know, I know those guys have been out there, and I know they found everything, but you go ahead and help yourself. And wow. I mean, I started swinging, finding Indian head. I just said, woo, this is awesome. And I ended up meeting her. Meeting her partner, and they just they accepted me with open arms, and the finds just kept coming, and that was my sweet honey hole.
Nice to have a spot like that, you know, where you've got practically exclusive permission and you're pulling some incredible relics. But what's the best thing you pulled out of that spot, Terry?
The next find, the next one. No. No, I'd have to say it's the Jeb Stuart sword hanger.
Tell us a little bit about that. Show us if you got it handy, but tell us a little bit about that one.
All right, here she goes. She was made at the Frankfurt Arsenal, and Jeb Stuart designed and patented this type of sword hanger for the cavalrymen on their horses. It would hold their scabbard, and it would be held by two leather pieces that would come down and hold that scabbard, and it enabled the cavalryman to ride his horse, and this would let that scabbard flow freely as he was galloping or whatever, and that would allow him to either reach for his pistol, his carbine, or bring that up in close combat or what have you. And the distinctive part about this was that this clip here would allow them to unclip it from their belt when they were off of their horses and just in a casual environment or whatever. But he designed it in 1860. I believe he sold it to, he sold those patents over, and believe it or not, both sides used this sword hanger. So there were Union troops that were cavalrymen and Confederate troops using that same design from him. So I'll tell you how I found it. I went and I had this incredible signal, and it was 89, 90, and it just never went away. No matter how deep I dug, it just kept sounding. I could hear it, and it only registered after I got to about a foot, where it started coming up on my VDI on the AT Pro. I could hear it, and I said, there's something freaking nice here. And I just kept going, and I was just about to give up because it was in the middle of August, and I think it was 100 degrees out that day. And I did a little bit more sieving with my fingers, and I got the trowel in there, and I popped this thing. And I said, oh, my, this is something neat. And when I saw the U.S. on it, I said, it's over. This is something, you know, I don't know what it is, but this thing is freaking phenomenal, and I love it. So I put a video up, and in the video, I didn't even say that I found a Jeb Stuart sword hanger. I just said I found something pretty cool. Check this out. And this an 83-year-old lady chimed in on my video, and she said, I found it. That's a Jeb Stuart sword hanger. Check it out.
Wow.
It blew my mind. I saw it on a site that was selling it for $365, and I was like, ooh, that's the best thing I ever found yet.
Wow, that's amazing, Terry. That's a great story, man. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You got it, man.
Man, oh, man. Let's see. What else have I got for you here? You know what? That's all I got right now. I'm going to save some questions for the end when it's kind of a free-for-all, and I might even have a question for Smile back there, so stay tuned, man.
All right, all right.
All right. Utah?
Yeah, that is amazing, man. That's just a remarkable find. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Josh and let him ask some questions. And like I said, if any of the questions out in the external, if any of you guys out there have questions, type them in the external. We'll get them asked. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Josh.
All right. Well, I guess first off, Terry, great to be able to talk to you again. You know, you were a guest on the show a while back, and that was just a blast. So when I had the opportunity to come up, I thought, you know what, I'm going to jump on this. This guy's great to talk to.
Thanks a lot, brother. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking to you again.
Couple of things real quick. First off, I guess you mentioned the AT Pro, and we know you're a big CTX fan, and you've got the XP, but you want to explain maybe to those who haven't heard, how did you originally get your start? Because I can remember you talking about that on the show.
Yeah, and you know, when I was telling you, I used to be big into the Modern Warfare gaming and staying up all night, try hard, and getting to the next level. I had all, you know, the expensive controller and the headphones and all, and I worked night shift, so I couldn't just sit around and watch TV, or I'd fall asleep and mess my sleeping schedule up. So I got into that hardcore gaming, and 2 years went by, and I had a chance to go to day shift. And when I went to day shift, my ex-wife's father was battling cancer, so we up and just pretty much shut the doors on our home we bought in one town and moved to the next town to take care of her dad. He succumbed to the disease, and I went out into one of the storage sheds we had out back, and when I was out there, I was looking for some things of mine, and out popped this metal detector. So I said, whoa, look at that. So I checked it out, I turned it on, it fired up, and what's most people do when they find a metal detector? They go and hit YouTube. I hit YouTube and started looking on YouTube, and I said, holy moly, there's some pretty serious people out here finding things with this metal detector. I got to get on board. So I started going out, and it was a Quicksilver, a bounty hunter Quicksilver. And I found basically everything that you would want to find, but I didn't find anything that I really wanted to find with that metal detector. It seemed to really like iron and different other metallic objects. It wasn't until I did further research on YouTube and I got a good eyeball on Nugget Noggin and Aqua Trigger that I figured out that I needed to upgrade to a better machine that discriminated iron, that gave me those clean, crisp sounds.
And they do some great videos as well, definitely. And when you were talking about your Jeb Stewart sword hanger, you had mentioned too you have a friend that you hunt with, J.C. Johnson, if I remember right.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That you traveled down, and you guys will put in a weekend here and there and stuff like that. So that sword hanger actually has a little more meaning to you, because where you stay down there,
yeah,
you can look right out the window, and what do you see?
Oh, right where I'm at, I got a St. John's River pulling right near where I'm at right now.
Just about Virginia.
Oh, you talking about?
I mean down in Virginia, because you're actually near Jeb's home site, if I remember right, when you're down there.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I stayed in a motel, the Marriott.
Yeah.
When I looked, thank you for reminding me. I got brain fart there, but when I looked out the window, Chris was showing me out the window where I stayed at the hotel. He said, listen, right in these woods, and that's 250 yards away. He said, that's where the Yellow Tavern was. And what they did was, on the other side of the woods, they've covered it up, and it's a big golf community now. So, just to be able to stay there and to know that history, it brought it all together.
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of look out, and I mean, can you imagine what was it like for him,
Yeah.
and to know that, because for some people today, it's just a little piece of metal that clips your sword to your belt or something, but for those of us in the hobby, or with the respect for the history,
Yeah.
it's so much more. I mean, this was a game changer during the war.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think that's really cool. I mean, first off, because of the find itself, and then secondly, you're able to actually put the other half of the puzzle together, so to speak. You have that little bit of connection with Jeb Stewart when you're down in Virginia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's very, very neat.
And down in that area in Virginia where Chris and I hunt, throughout that whole area is where the first African American troops were engaged in the Civil War on the Union side against the Confederacy. So just to be able to add that to the equation, and the fact that 13 of the 14 commemorative awards for valor, I believe, were handed out in the area where Chris and I hunt. That's pretty spectacular in itself.
Oh, absolutely it is, and what a privilege that must be, to be able to connect with that history down there like that when you're out recovering it. It's a real honor.
Yeah, and the sad thing about all that is most of the African Americans in that area don't even know that history even exists. They have no idea.
That's a good point. A
They're
lot of people don't realize their local history like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's the great thing about the hobby. I mean, we get into it, we do our research, and we do all, in fact, become basically amateur historians and really know our local history.
Yeah.
And I see there, like Matt had mentioned, you've been getting out with your son and hunting with him, and he seems to be taken to the hobby and stuff, and that's really great, getting the younger generation involved. I wanted to bring up, too, that recently you did a video, Brady's Day Out. Did you know Brady and his parents? Did they approach you, or did you approach them, or how did that come to happen?
Well, the Facebook, the whole Facebook thing that I got going on.
Right.
I don't know how we became friends. And when I look at my friends, it's funny because I don't know where these people came from. When I really look at, I have no idea. I'm like, how did I ever know? But
you're not going, who's this? Or you get on Facebook one day and go, how in the world did I get 1,500 friends?
Yeah. So it came through Facebook. I became friends with his mom somehow, and I just started noticing some of the posts that she put up that her son had just gotten out of a children's hospital. And when I read the post, it brought tears to my eyes, and I said, I got to reach out to this family, and I need to pay it forward with this child. And that's what I did. I texted her on Facebook, and I said, listen, I got a pretty cool little device that's going to help him metal detect. And I'd like to come up and present that to him. And if you don't mind, I'd like to take some pictures and mention it on Facebook. And she was like, that'd be great. So that started a year ago, and then I had an opportunity to invite him down. And when he came down, he had this little metal detector. This thing beeped everywhere you put it. It didn't matter if there was metal on the ground or not. I'd never seen it before. It's this little thin little thing. So while we were metal detecting, I set him loose with the XP Deos, and I said, look, when you get a good 55 or above, you just holler at me, and I'm going to come and we'll dig it up,
Right.
Yeah, so Brady has spinal sclerosis. It's an abnormal curvature of the spine. And
right.
Doctors at a local DuPont Children's Hospital here in Delaware, they had a breakthrough where they designed these magnets that they would put along his spine, and they designed a machine that would pull the spine together, and then they could set it where it needs to be. And he's making a great recovery. The boy's full of energy. He wore me out on that video. Let me tell you that right now.
Well, I just thought that was so great. You could tell in the video that, he was having a great time. It didn't really matter what he was finding. He was out enjoying the hobby, and you were right there being so supportive and encouraging about it, like, oh, that's cool. Let me see what you got there. Yeah, that's a great find. Bro fist, buddy. And he was, you could tell that he was genuinely enjoying himself. And then you slip in there right at the last minute of the video, Brady suffers from this spinal disorder, and he's using metal detecting to help combat it. So it shows the therapeutic aspect of the hobby as well.
Yeah, I'm not the smartest kid on the block when it comes to editing these videos. I got some pretty fancy editing tools on my hard drive, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you that if I spend too much time editing a video, then it's not even worth my while. I'd rather be out there finding stuff. So I just go with the YouTube editor. You know what I mean? And that's the only way I knew how to put in the videos. Brady is suffering from, and that's why it came across like that. And guess I was hoping that most people that knew my connection with Brady would figure it out. But I did get a lot of feedback with that. Mentioning the fact of his condition and what he's going through and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool. I know I made a comment and did my share to help push it around. I thought that was very commendable and just great to see him out enjoying the hobby like that. Very, very awesome, very commendable of you, and a great job with the video. Your videos always come out so nice, and the audio is always very crisp. Do you do anything with your audio on your videos, or is that just straight off the cameras?
You said the audio?
Yeah.
Oh, that comes right off the GoPro Hero 3 Plus that I run.
Nice. Well, it does some very good audio.
No external mics. I will tell you that I just recently picked up the Hero 4 session, and today I lost probably 3 clips where we were doing things in that video. I don't know where they went, but they just disappeared, and it was like the Hero 4 Plus session or whatever. It just kind of froze up in position on me, so I don't know if other people are having that problem, but the video.
I have heard that issue with other people with the Hero 4 session.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Brady, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
I have an announcement to make right here since everyone's here. And Matt, you helped me to do what I'm getting ready to tell you. When I saw your video about the Go Find 40 and the contest for the children.
Yep.
I really wanted him to enter that contest.
I wanted him to enter too.
I was telling him about the contest, but he's just so spastic. He's just so ready to go. I couldn't get him to settle down for 5 minutes, I tried to say, hey, this is what I want you to say, and he was just like, and I said, all right, we're not going to go that route. So as we were communicating back and forth with that, I reached out to Calico, and I said, listen, I just did a video with this young man. Just please check this video out. And it wasn't 3 days later, I got a call from a girl from Calico. And she said, what can we do to help the young man out?
Nice.
And I said, how about a GoFind? He'd love a GoFind. You put it all back down together. So they sent him a GoFind 60, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm heading up tomorrow with Smile, and we're presenting the GoFind 60 to Brady at a local park, and he doesn't know we're coming.
Nice.
That is great.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's my paying it forward, and trust me, I wouldn't even reached out to them if I hadn't seen your video.
Oh, that's just awesome, man.
And that's how the pay it forward thing works in the community, and just I take cues from you guys sometimes. I'm like, what's he doing? Oh wow, check that out.
That is really great to hear. That's awesome. And he's going to enjoy that machine.
Yeah.
GoFinds are some nice machines for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great to see the good that is done from those of us in the hobby like that, because a lot of times you hear so much about the bad. you know, people doing things the wrong way, stuff like that, that we really do need to see more things like this in the hobby. And even a while back, when you were a guest on the show, we actually got, by the end of the show, we had Coins Unwrapped all set up with everything he needed. He had an Ace 250 given to him, a White's pen pointer, and his head was spinning enough as it was, and right there at the end, Terry's like, well, you know, he says, I'm really liking what I'm hearing. He's going to need something to do video with, too, though, so I'm going to send him my pair of pivot head Durangos.
Yeah.
So when I called him the next day, he's like, man, I'm still not quite sure what happened last night. What all did I just get? I am set up in the hobby. Thank you.
Yeah. And
you made his day.
And you know what's crazy is, I can tell you that I don't know if we feel like that every day, you know, while we're out there trying to chase history, but it's just like almost like within the last year and a half, my emotional side starts to kick in when I read, you know, comments and I see the pain and things in different people. So, you know, something's going around. I'm going to tell you that right now. Something's going around. It's a whole lot of people paying it forward, and it all starts. It started with somebody. I just don't know who that person is. And I tell you what, it's ripping right through this relic community. I'll tell you that right now.
It's the evolution of revolution in the hobby, and we're setting the pace for people.
That's right. That's right.
And we're all doing things in such a positive light. You know, yourself, Tar Heel, Utah, and everybody together, their little part that they play all builds up for the good of the greater picture. And it's really just fantastic to see everything that has been going on. You do a wonderful job with your videos. You've been making some great finds. And most importantly, you're out there preserving that history and doing it for the right reasons, not the wrong ones. Very commendable. A lot of respect from me.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Utah, you got anything?
Yeah, I've got quite a bit. First, I'm going to address the questions and comments from the external. We've had a few awesome questions, and guys, if you have any more, type them in. I'll get them asked. First of all, I want to start off with Rip's Relics. He wanted to say that he got to hunt the property that you were dying to get on while you were there.
Yeah. Oh, and he'll be the first one to tell you that I was like, Rip, man, Rip, you need to get on your phone. You got to call your buddy. We got to get on that property before I leave today, man. And he said, Terry, you're killing me. And look, and it was so crazy because we were so far away from his car. I texted my friend and said, just jump in the Honda. We're up the road here. We're up this dirt road. You'll see us. Just drive up here. We need to use this phone. And he said, look, he said, the guy's a helicopter pilot. He's not going to be around. And I had a chance today to watch the video. And, you know, he's got some nice finds that are coming out there. You know, that big fat dandy button. I think it's a war nickel that came out there. And the guy's a stellar kind of hunter. I'll tell you what, the guy just is relentless. When you set him loose, and he don't stop till he's done.
Yeah, I think he learned that from Al Fu. Because I hear Al Fu's a lot the same way. Al Fu goes until he absolutely can't go anymore. So,
yeah.
Speaking of Al Fu, he wants to know when you're going to come down to South Carolina. Apparently, he's wanting to hunt with you as well.
I would love to come to South Carolina, Al. And whenever you'll have me, let's put it that way.
Yeah, you let me know type thing.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to get together. He had the Al Fu Fest. And I'll tell you, for some reason, and this was on my part, I thought it was like the next weekend when we were talking. And then as time went by, I found out it was like 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh my goodness. So hopefully we'll get together and we'll do some swinging. I'd love to do that.
Swansea Searcher asked how long Double D has been searching the Union Church.
All right, so Union Church was 3 years in. I had 3 seasons that I did Union Church. For the last maybe season and a half, I haven't been able to because the property's been sold, and they're doing construction out there, and it's a thing when we're really kind of, you get those people that are interested in the finds, and then you get the people that when they buy the property, they don't want you digging, they don't want anything to happen. So it's turned into a, they don't want me to get hurt out there because they've invested a lot of money in the property. They bought that property and bought like 60 or 70 acres adjacent to it. And I think the new homeowner is worried about somebody, you know, getting hurt and doing some legal action. So I have to set up an appointment with him and talk to him, and I haven't been able to do it because he's always on the go, traveling in and out of the country and stuff. So I'm not able to do that anymore, but I had 3 very wonderful years of detecting that area.
Yeah, I hate it when things like that happen, too, because you know there's still more history in that ground to pull out.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you never get it all. I mean, no matter how hard you try, you never get it all of that lost history that's still there and still eats at you.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I feel it every day. When I drive by it, I look at it going, oh, the one that got away.
I know, right? Brian Walsh wants to know, and this is for all the panelists, he wants to know how many of us have worked for archaeologists when detecting, and what type of experience was it for you? Personally, I haven't been detecting long enough to have had that opportunity. I think I have a chance coming up in the future, possibly, but I'm looking forward to it personally.
I'll hand that off to Matt. Have you done any of that, bud?
Not with a professional archaeologist, but I'll say that I have hooked up with a local historian who has been, it's a very beneficial relationship, let's put it that way. He and I have worked together on some projects. I've helped him out, he's helped me out, and we've actually talked with an archaeologist about some of the locations that I've been hunting at, but I would welcome that relationship at any point in time. I think it would be a wonderful part of discovering the local history.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bringing up the part we're working with archaeologists, I received the email 2 days ago, and it's from a friend of mine in Pennsylvania. Down south of me, about 40 minutes, is Cape Henlopen State Park and the beach area. There used to be a quarantine area down there, and there's another couple other spots that the archaeologists down in that area want to work with metal detectorists, and I've made 2 phone calls, one yesterday and one today, to a gentleman from Denrec, which is involved in all that. So I'm waiting to hear back from him, and I'd love to work with him. I see other people going to Monticello and these different places, and you watch the diggers, and they're getting the signals and placing the flags, and they let you dig a couple signals or whatever. But I think that'd be a great experience and a good way to get our name out and to show that these two entities or people can get along together. They can learn from each other. They can work together without the strife that's usually accompanied by the archaeologist towards the metal detectorists.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I believe has happened in the past, but I really don't see that happening too much anymore. Everyone that I've talked to has all been gung-ho for the opportunity and the chance to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Josh, have you had that opportunity?
Much like Matt, I've had the opportunity to work with some historians and stuff, and it's always been a good experience. I've talked to a number of people that are involved in archaeology, and where archaeologists used to be more close-minded about working hand in hand with detectorists, they are starting to become more open-minded and more receptive to it, because they are beginning to see that we could, in fact, play an integral part in helping to locate this history for them and document it. And for those of us out there who the opportunity arises to do something like that, like Terry was talking about, I encourage people to do it, because every time we can get our foot in the door to participate in something like this, it only helps to keep the hobby in a good light and further nurture that relationship between archaeologists and metal detectorists, because not all of them are pro metal detectorists. Some archaeologists out there still think that we have no business doing what we're doing.
Right, right.
That's not to say they're all like that, though, and they are becoming more open-minded about it. And the ones that I have talked to that are more open-minded about it are very receptive to the idea. They do believe that there is a role that we can play to assist.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that I had 2 experiences myself, which at the point of where I found these 2 finds I'm going to show you, I bridged the gap between metal detectoring and archaeologists' work. I brought this.
Awesome.
I brought this Indian arrow point out of the hole with a large scent, and
Nice.
also brought this, which I believe to be a indigenous fire starting rock that they would hold up high, and they would take that bow and start their tinder. That's what I believe that is. That came out of the hole with another object. This piece here came from Union Church. And
Nice.
this one here came from up there where W. Wally is, and about 25, maybe 25 minutes from me. It's a broken arrowhead. And I'll tell you, that bad boy's still sharp. But now, if I had all the fancy digging gear that they have, you know, the sieve and all that stuff, who knows what we would find if we would take that soil and stick it in a sieve while we're doing what we're doing, you know. Who knows what we'd find? I think we'd find more. I mean,
Absolutely, I agree, because there's a lot of history in the ground that isn't metallic.
yeah. And can I show you this? This is archaic period right here. I found this right on the surface, a little bit north, and that's an axe of some sort that's been hit by a a plow. What's pretty cool about it? One side is completely flat, and then your rounded piece, you see where they formed it so they could put their strapping across it.
Mm-hmm.
I found that up north, about 35 minutes up north in a farm field, and that's a surface find. But I'd love to get into the whole digging for points and doing the sieve work and stuff like that. When I used to be an inspector on the bypass. We have this bypass that rolls right around Dover Air Force Base, and it cuts off about 30 minutes of travel for the people that don't want to go down the main drive. But we used to run into the spoon diggers, we called them. You know, that's what we called them. We were like, look, there's the spoon diggers. I wonder what they're finding today. But we got in a pretty good relationship with them, and I worked 11 in the morning. No, 11 at night till 11 in the morning. Overseeing contractors, laying fill dirt and stuff. So look, when things got calmed down, we'd grab all their sieves and run up to these big hills that they had all this stuff and just sieve through all this material. And I'll tell you what, at one point I had 8 megalodon teeth that were as big as my hand. I had 8 of these bad boys and all this stuff. And this was in 1991. And
that's awesome.
I got a little bit wild, and drinking and carrying on and partying and got evicted out of the apartment. And upstairs in the attic was a storage. And I always said, you know, somebody was the luckiest person in the world when they found those megalodon teeth. Because these things were beautiful, dude. I see them now are like $500 a piece or whatever. I said, oh, Lord. But, yeah, that's about the as much as I've been in you know, cahoots or worked directly with archaeologists. I know in the area where they put the bypass, they said, first they told me 80,000 years ago, people lived next to this river. And I was like, 80,000, wow. And then they came back another couple weeks later and said 8,000 years ago. I said, oh, okay. And I had an opportunity to see a hearth that the indigenous people near the river used to throw all their waste, and then they cover it with dirt. They showed me some adobe structure they found where these people had mixed a mud cake mixed with different strands of you know, vegetation to make huts and stuff. So that was really, really interesting to me.
Swansea Searcher also asked out there if they asked if anybody's had a chance to do any returns, like ring returns or bracelet returns like that.
No, I haven't. I'll not be the first to tell you. I'm one of the greediest metal detectors out there.
Mario,
Well, how can you argue with logic like that?
Exactly.
Hey, did you find my ring? Nah, I didn't find nothing. No, I'm just kidding. No, I haven't. And, you know, I always love seeing these guys. I mean, there's this guy watching British Columbia, and this guy, this is his job. This guy's
It's got to be Chris Turner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love watching him. These people call, and this guy is on point. He's like, 5 minutes. Bing, bing, bing. What? I'm like, dude, that is awesome. I always love to see the ring returns. I haven't been able to, and I'll tell you, if there's something I'd like to find, it would be someone's precious ring that they lost. That would be awesome.
I do have a few questions of my own. One of them's for Smiley. How do you feel when you get out and get to go detecting, Smiley?
Pretty cool. But I have this thing where I get extremely bored easily. So like I'll find something, it'll be cool at first, and then I won't find something, and then I'll just give up. But set aside from that, I actually have a pretty good time. Just yeah.
What made you decide you wanted to actually get out and go metal detecting with your dad?
Dad pulled me out of the house one day with the wiry looking metal piece and said, "We're gonna go to a park and see what we find."
And so it begins.
Exactly. That's awesome.
And I ended up finding the best out of that, which is basically our roles switched nowadays. But I found like this. I guess it was costume jewelry, but it was like
gold bracelet.
It looked gold, and it was a bracelet.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of cool.
I pulled up 3 minutes out, and he gets out of the Jeep in 3 minutes. I'm steady finding a couple pieces of copper. 3 minutes, he goes, "All right, Dad, I'm good," and he's showing me this gold bracelet. He said, "Look, all right, Dad, I'm good. Let's go home." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, what do you do? Like,
Did you look and kind of go, "Oh, you so suck"?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I started this chat, is I really want to get families involved metal detecting. Metal detecting together. Get out there and save history and see what you can find together. Have fun doing it. Just getting outdoors. And you know, much respect to both of you for doing that. That is awesome. I really like seeing that when people in the community have their family out with them. That's really cool.
Yeah, I can take him with me, and around here, he's he gets ready to go quickly. But when I took him down to Virginia and put him on some Civil War era artifacts, that just opened his whole eyes. And he told me before he left, he said, "Dad, man, put me on for next season. Don't fill my spot." I said, "You got it, brother."
Yeah.
So that makes me happy, you know what I mean? I love that.
I think beforehand you were showing some bottles you found. Do you do bottle dumps, or do you just find them as you go metal detecting, or what's the deal? And can you show any of those bottles?
Yeah, well, this is one cobalt we found today, and this is like an Alka-Seltzer bottle. And this is from the Emerson Drug Company. And I believe what this is basically used for is like anti-hangover relief back in the 20s, 30s, 40s. I found this Vaseline bottle today.
New York.
And it says New York Chesbro. Now, the story behind this Vaseline jar, this Vaseline is a byproduct from the oil industry when they're pumping that oil out of the ground. This stuff just used to sit around the surface of the ground. They never found out anything to do with it. And the man who invented Vaseline was just happened to be out there looking around, and he saw these workers putting this Vaseline, this jelly stuff on their open cuts and stuff. And when he was talking to them, they said, "Yeah, man, that stuff heals me up in days." So he created Vaseline and became a multimillionaire. How about that guy?
That's great to hear the stories behind the finds like that.
Yeah, it is.
This Raleigh's, I'm not too sure, but I do know that in the 20s, the turn of century 20s, 30s, 40s, they had all kinds of home medication and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure what this one was for, but I'm thinking it's probably some kind of elixir or something to make you feel better. Because back then they didn't have the FDA and all that. Hell, you could put something in the bottle and say this, this will make you rich, and people would buy it. People would fall for that, man. They'd buy it right up.
Yeah, they had all kinds of stuff. The snake oil salesmen, they called them, going around. But that is really cool. It never ceases to amaze me the finds that we make when we're out metal detecting that aren't metallic. If you just have your eyes open and watching the ground, you can find all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Trying to see if there's any more questions from the external out there.
All right.
Not seeing any. Any of y'all have any more questions? If not, we'll just go into story time. I thought Tar Heel was holding a couple back, I think.
I got a couple of questions. I'd like to engage Smile, if you don't mind, Terry. I'd like to get Smile involved here.
Step out for a few minutes. Just
All right.
have your way with him, brother.
Hello there.
Hey, Smile, I just want to know, man, what's the oldest thing you've ever found out metal detecting with Pops?
100.
Actually, if you heard him, it was 152 years.
Okay.
And it was like a coin, I guess. It was just a coin. I found it. I was like, yeah, that's coin. And then Dad decided to brush it off, and I was like, oh, it's amazing.
So you got a date off of it?
Yeah. He said the number of years back. I can't really calculate it at the moment.
How about some of that Civil War stuff that you found down in Virginia? Now, that's got to be some cool stuff. Or did you get bored finding those bullets?
No, I had a lot of fun, which is why I said reserve a spot for me. But I found a lot of bullets. The problem is I left a lot of those in storage, and we happened to leave some of them, and they were like in tiny boxes that we didn't think of bringing with us. So like I'll have to find those one day in the storage box somewhere.
It sounds to me like you need to go out and find some more next winter.
Well, that's something that definitely needs to be done. You always need to do that, especially when you're such a great property.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool.
You know, to add to that a little bit, Matt, I would be interested in knowing what has been, not because of value, not because it's the oldest, but what has been your most memorable find or favorite find to you, Smile, and why?
My favorite, I would have to say that bracelet, because it was the first time out, and also I just had a lot of fun that day for the 20 minutes that it was, and I just thought it was awesome that I just immediately walked out the car, grabbed the machine, and just picked it up immediately. It was only like maybe 2-3 inches into the ground. So I picked it up and I was like, oh, yeah. And I thought that was like the most memorable, which I thought was awesome, to answer your question.
Very cool. Very cool.
Go ahead, that's you, buddy. Go ahead in there, man, that's you.
Anything else? Friends?
That's all I got, Utah. I'm good, buddy.
Okay.
That covers it.
Sorry, I had to go get a refill on my tea there real quick because I was really parched.
I hear you.
Well, Josh, you have any more questions to throw out before we end the live portion of the chat tonight?
Yeah. For Smile, if he would actually go out, like, say, this winter and get his own metal detector, is there one out there where, you know, money aside, not an issue, whatever, that would be your dream machine to go hunting with your dad?
I really do like the AC Pro.
AT Pro.
AT Pro, sorry.
Yeah.
Words. I don't know much. But I do like the AT Pro. It's nice. It was the best one
Cool.
to use, and then like headphone-wise, it would sound the best.
And is that what you were using the day you found that bracelet?
No, the day we found that bracelet was a wiry old one. Whatever. Quicksilver.
It was a Bounty Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Bounty Hunter Platinum. We had one of those that I bought off a friend, and I mean, he made it work for him. You know what I mean?
And that's what it's all about, finding what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his own. He's got his own setup. I gave him a nice rig that I first started out with. That's an old Army rig for carrying supplies and stuff. So when we go, he's all hooked up, and I got kind of like doubles of everything. So all he's got to do is just say the word, and I'll let him loose with any of them.
There you go. There you go. And it sounds like he's definitely following in some good footsteps. He's got a good person to learn from.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll tell you this. Metal detecting basically changed my life. You know, before I got into this hobby, I kind of had that feeling that I really never really fit in with any type of crowd. You know, I was always kind of like the loner, doing things on my own, and just to be able to find something, research it, find out where it's from, who may have possibly dropped it, and then to share that with people in the metal detecting community, that just, you know, that was a total game changer for me. And I was accepted from day one. I have people saying, hey, try doing this. When I uploaded these videos, I had a little iPod I was using. I was telling you that, a little iPod, a small little iPod. And I never held it the correct way, so when my videos went up, I had this video that covered half the screen, and I kept getting all these messages like, hey, if you turn your camera sideways, it'll fill the screen. And I was like, what's that mean? And then the next time I did a video, dude was like, "Hey, you idiot, turn it sideways and it'll fill the screen." And I was like, I tried it one time, and I was like, "Yeah, check that out." So, you know, getting people's help and just being able to talk to the other people that share the interest that I do. I'll tell you what, I won't leave here. You have to drag me out of this hobby at this point. I'll tell you that.
That's right. I think the same could be said for all of us on here.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's this community has been great as far as, I mean, like you said, they accept you from day one, it seems like, and they always give hints, but they seem to always do it in a truly helpful way. You know, they're not giving you helpful hints and being rude about it. They help you out by like, hey, you know, by the way, you might want to turn your phone this way when you record.
Maybe it's a little
But
better.
yeah, it's awesome.
It truly is a community that crosses boundaries. I mean, we break language barriers, countries,
Oh yeah.
you know, lifestyles,
Gender.
cliques. Yeah, exactly. Everybody is included and usually very well welcomed.
Right.
And I do have to say this is the pay it forward part aspect of the community. That is just unbelievable. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of that, and it has really truly basically saved my life and made my whole outlook on life totally change. It's been great. But I hear people all the time say, you know, go to the small mom and pop shops to do your shopping for detectors and all that, which is great. You know, yeah, by all means, if you have a mom and pop shop that's close by that you trust, by all means go there. But you know, more and more, all the time, I'm hearing all these great, awesome stories about Kelly Co. I know they're one of the biggest companies, and some people don't like them for that, and only that. But you know, they do some amazing stuff for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And no, I'm not getting paid to say that. It's just things that I notice. You know,
Yeah.
they are always doing really good for the digging community, and it's
Oh yeah. I've noticed
But
that.
and here's the thing that people need to think about when they get on a forum and they see somebody just bash Kellyco, like you said, Kellyco is in fact one of the largest, if not the largest, distributor in the U.S. So they're dealing with a mass volume of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
You see one bad report, but there again, people are real easy to see the bad and not the good. You see that one bad report, but you could have had 1,000 people before that that had a great dealing with Kellyco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And can I tell?
Not going to keep everybody happy.
Can I reiterate and just touch base on the part that you were saying to support your local hobby shop or your local, you know, your local mom and pop stores. And this is just in my neck of the woods. There are no hobby shops that sell metal detectors in my area. There's one, and the reason why I say there's none, I'm going to tell you right now. I walked into this, it's a coin store here, local. A lot of their business is done on the internet, and they're a whites dealer. Now, after I bought the AT Pro, I saved up $1,450. I did my research on the whites, and I knew what I wanted. And I walked into this store, and I'm telling you, I could get my Jeep now and be there in 12 minutes flat. I walked in, and I started talking to the gentleman about the metal detector, and he kind of pointed over to it, which is over the counter. He never once offered to lift it up and let me hold it in my hands. And I've always been a man, I got to take it for a test drive. I got to check it out. I need to check the bells and whistles. I want to hear it do the bing bing and all that. And so I got the shrug off, because they were just too busy doing whatever they were doing. So I walked out of that place, and I said, I'm going to give them another chance. And I went in again in the same routine. So I want to put my money into their business, and I want my money to go in this community. But from that point, I just said, I'm going to have to buy whites from someone else. So that's the next one I'm after. But I do think and I do feel strongly about supporting your local hobby shops and stuff. But at this point, I just can't work with them. And the Brady situation, go back to the Brady situation, I outreached to them first before I went to Kelly Co. And he actually told me, he said, let me talk to my partner. I'll call you tomorrow. I called back tomorrow, and the lady said he's going to call you back in an hour. I never got to call back in the hour. I never got to call back the next morning when I did the metal detecting for Brady. So that's 3 strikes on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my personal experience, and I'm sure there's some great people. I actually buy all of my equipment from Bart's at Big Boys Hobbies.
Big Boys Hobbies are great to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I no fuss, no muss. It's here in 2 days and gives me a great deal. But I'll tell you, with this thing that has come with Kelly Co., I'm almost tempted to now just source all my equipment from them. And while we're talking about it, the only reason I have never dealt with Kelly Co., and this is just me, is because I like quality equipment. I mean, it's got to be hands down 100%. And the only thing that turned me down was seeing some of the items that you get with your purchases. That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm willing now to see the generosity and the kind of spirit that they've shown with giving items away to people and saying, hey, I want you to give this away. I want you to try this out. I want you to show people what we're working with. Hey, hands down, that's probably where my whites is coming from. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. If you go into your local shop and they're not giving you the service you want, then go to the next best thing and go to the ones that are always helping people out. That's my opinion.
And that's the thing. If you have a local dealer, which in my area I don't either, but by all means, local dealers are a good way to go, as long as it is a reputable dealer. Because you'll find no matter what brands people are selling, no matter what machines they're selling, products, names, whatever, it's customer service that keeps that customer coming back to that particular dealer. It's how they treat their customer.
You're right.
Like Terry said, I get all of my stuff from Big Boys Hobbies because it's no fuss, no muss. It's there in 2 days. So he has that peace of mind. I've dealt with these people before. They've been great with me in the past. I'm going back to them. Why? Because of their service.
Right, exactly. Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Matt, I love that half real. I just want to show you my 1821. You got me by several years, but that's the 1821. Ooh, Mexican mint.
Nice. Nice. Got a little hole punched in it for character, too, I see.
Utah, I just want to take a minute and say thanks again. I've actually got to get out of here because I work third shift, but it has been an absolute pleasure talking with everyone. Thanks for the honor, and anytime I can assist, I'm there for you.
Hey, Josh,
Awesome.
man, nice
Thank you
to
for
speak with
coming
you,
on.
brother.
Absolutely. You too, Terry. It's great seeing you again, and keep up the good work, guys. Everybody's doing a great job. Just
It is
keep
an
going.
honor having you on here, and a total honor having you on here. And for everybody out there, I know they all have, but if not, make sure you go check out Beyond Sight and Sound on Wednesday evenings. It's an amazing show. He's
Yeah,
truly a professional, in my
I hear
opinion.
they've had some good guests, and I was even talking Monday. I got to figure out a way I can get on that show.
Yeah, that will be an epic show. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the live portion of the chat. Thank everybody in the external for coming out and
Absolutely.
watching it and enjoying the time with us.
Oh, yeah.
Next week, I am really looking forward to it as well. I believe I'm going to have Joe Toth or Two Tone Joe on here. That's going to
Great
be
guy.
a really good episode and a good chat with him as well. So anyway, with that, thanks again, Terry, for coming on. Thank you, Smiley, for being here. Josh, thank you for coming in and helping out with the questions. It's truly an honor to have all y'all on here, and I know I say that every week, but it's true. I mean, every week I'm having people on that actually got me into the hobby when I was watching all the videos, and it is like an honor every week to see all these people and to chat with y'all. It is awesome. Anyway,
I had a blast. Hey, was I a good boy?
yes, you were, sir. Thank you. And, all right, I'll talk to y'all later in the external. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.